What's happening, Death Grip Brotherhood? I am Levi. I am the owner and CEO of Death Grip and Vintage Grooming. I'm here with Jesse today. Jesse, thanks for sitting down with me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, super excited to be here with you today. Take a moment, introduce yourself to the Death Grip Brotherhood, and then we'll go from there.
All right. My name's Jesse. I'm with the my own YouTube channel is Adventurous Lad, but I'm here obviously with the Death Grip Brotherhood. I began shaving my head at the beginning of this year. I had trimmed it all off to try to get even after a haircut went awry, and I started noticing my hair was thinning out. I looked at every kind of cure I could and finally said, screw it, I'm not going to fight Mother Nature, I'm going to join her, and I shaved my head for the first time. I've explored the electric shavers, the straight razor, almost scalping myself, and of course all the store-bought Bic, Gillette, five blade things, and I'm here today to test out the one blade and burn the ships.
That is incredible to hear. Well, I don't know how much you know about Burn the Ships and the story behind it, but when I first came up with the idea to bring the branding of Burn the Ships, it really is intended for the head shave, right? So it's about going all in, no plan Bs, taking the adversities that you're facing and just taking them head on.
Awesome.
And so I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about your story and how, you know, your thinning hair, how you felt during that time, and tell me a little bit about what happened after you made the bold decision to shave your head.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I love the reference. I'm a history nerd. So burning the ships, no retreat. I love that mentality. My ancestral line actually goes back to the English Navy. Supposedly, I'm related to Lord Horatio Nelson, he went down at the Battle of Trafalgar against Napoleon.
Wow.
So cool stuff there. Going back to what you wanted to hear about, I started, like I said, noticing at the beginning of the year, my hair was thinning.
Yeah.
First thing I felt was, this is a tragedy, because the better half loved that. I loved playing with my hair like every wife does, and she was like, "Don't shave it." I said I had this overwhelming feeling because I looked up, like I said, every cure, and $60 a month to put drops on your head and hope it grows back didn't sound promising, and $10,000 for hair transplants ain't worth it. So I was like, "All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shave my head anyway." And she was like, "What? Don't do it." When I first shaved my head, my confidence did tank. I was like, that was part of my identity. I used to styling my hair. After about a week of keeping my head buzzed, that wasn't good enough, and I started doing the shaving thing, like really getting into shaving it.
Yeah.
That felt nice. It didn't feel as bad as I thought it did. Like I didn't think I thought my scalp would be super sensitive. I started getting compliments more on my facial hair because that was growing in.
Yeah.
And I started becoming more confident about shaving my head when I stopped nicking the crap out of my head.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you kind of went for a shaved head, and then you started growing your facial hair at the same time, or did you always have facial hair?
So I got inspired by a movie scene I saw. I haven't even seen the movie, Bronson. And he's got that old school pugilist, look to him, and he grew like the big mustache, and he had his head shaved. And I thought, man, that's kind of cool, like the old strongman vibe. I liked that.
Yes.
I was like, I'm about that vibe. I'm gonna go for it. I'll get an anchor tattoo when I go overseas.
I love it.
Then I jumped on it, and I was like, that's my look. My brother gave me some like kind of circular sunglasses that I always used to wear anyway before all of this. So I grew the facial hair at the same time, and that's when I heard of Death Grip wax to begin with. So
that's awesome.
Like, all streamlined from here.
That's awesome. So when was it that you decided to take that leap and shave your head? How long ago was that?
I want to say February or March of this year. It wasn't super long ago. It was, like I said, I used to have an undercut where it was all shaved on the side and long on top. Yeah. And I felt something wrong back here to begin with and decided I'd buzz it and let it all grow the same because I assumed that the barber attacked me in the back somewhere for not leaving a big enough tip. And then the hair grew back everywhere but here, and it came out to about an inch long at that time. And I felt it, and I was like, is there something wrong with that? And my wife says, oh, it's really thinned out. It's not bald, it's thin. And I said, I don't want that, I can see my scalp through it thing. It's not my vibe. Yeah. And I said, I told myself if I ever started to do that, it's game over. I'm not fighting nature, I'm joining her, and it works better.
Yeah. So how do you feel now that you've been at it for, what, 9 months, 10 months? What would you say you feel now? Do you feel more confident since you've shaved your head and brought on that that new persona, that new boldness out with you?
To be honest with you, this is a good lesson for a lot of men out there, not just me. The first thing I realized after months of doing this was that we neglect our self-care. As men, I'm going to work, I'll splash water on my face, I'll go to it. No real daily skin routine, nothing like that. Getting a routine where I started shaving my head, I started focusing on taking good care of my skin, being more active. I started using a health app on my phone. I started eating better. I started, especially with the facial hair, I was really, really selective about what I did. I tried buying some of the local store stuff, and it all has like plastics and other weird stuff in it, and hair would fall out or turn gray, and I'm more sensitive to that because I have less of it to play with.
Yeah.
So after all those months, I learned that sticking with something that's all natural, taking care of yourself is way more critical than you know, and that whole old man advice of you're not going to be made out of spring someday creeps up a lot faster than I thought it would. So now I feel a lot more confident because my energy levels are better, my sleep levels are better, my self-care is better, my face doesn't feel like 10 grit sandpaper 24/7 anymore.
Yeah.
I feel great.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing a bit of your story. I'm excited to jump in and do this shave today. It's going to be very, very cool. We are here in Everett, Washington for the National Beard and Mustache Competitions 2024. We're super excited to see all of you guys here. If you didn't make it to this year's national competitions, be ready for Worlds coming up July 4th in Pittsburgh. So mark your calendars for that.
Okay, so I really want to talk about this one in particular because this is something I don't have any experience with, whereas I use that daily now. The one blade razor, I prefer it over, and I'm not saying this to butter anyone's bread, over everything else I have tried. This has the closeness I need for the the straight edge I was hoping to get, but it fits better in my hand. And like I said, you have to grip it kind of differently when you're going across your head and versus your face, which is, maybe a front to back like this. So this little divot in here, even when it was wet from me splashing around the water and the shave oil that I just got to use, I've got a good grip. I've got good tactile grip. On top of that, the weight of it, you don't think it would make a difference, but it does, because I can sit here and kind of let gravity drag the razor for me instead of having to press it all. In fact, the only times I nicked myself was I expected to have to really put some force into it. But it's not so heavy that my arm's tired from going over and over and over on my head. I like how durable this feels. I feel like I could drop this in the shower and not regret my life decisions. I like how it's a single blade, and cleaning it out in the sink is a big deal. With the 5 blades, I was showing you earlier, there's all this gunk that comes if you have a close shave on your head, face, whatever, you're used to that, and it turns into this gross paste. That gets in the 5 blades, and one of them will bend, warp as it cools off, and so then you go to shave the next time, and while that bottom razor does its job allegedly, the rest of it chews into your head pretty viciously. This one, I can run the water right through it like this, cleans it right out. I can pull this right out straight and rinse it out in there, and then it's clean. It's not nasty, it's not dirty, it's not ugly. Love this, and I'll give it back to you for